It's day 4 of our December 5-day weight loss series, and today we are walking with weights. Grab your lightest dumbbells and let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. Have your dumbbells completely out of the way, and let's get started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend, and around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And you know what really feels like self-love? Finding that healthy weight with the 5-0 method, which is the thing that we do around here by doing 5 things every single day that make you say, oh, I had no idea that weight loss could be that easy. You guys, every single day we eat the right number of calories, which is not necessarily less than you have been eating. We drink the right amount of water, which is half your body weight in pounds in ounces of water. We get the right amount of sleep by going to bed at the same time every night and getting up at the same time every morning and not worrying so much about how much of that in between was actual sleep. We exercise moderately, which might actually be less than you are used to, which is pretty crazy, right? Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. And the 5th thing, my favorite thing, we manage our minds by finding our thoughts and deciding if they're helpful. And you know what? I've got a helpful thought for you today, and here it is. And actually, let me just give you the disclaimer right now that today's helpful thought is brought to you by a friend of mine from whom I shamelessly stole it. The thought is, I am making changes. I love the sound of that. And the reason that I stole this is because the thought that I offered this friend of mine who is a client, I offered her the thought of I am changing, thinking that might feel good. And yet, sometimes I am changing, like for example, through menopause or other things going on in our lives. Sometimes that can feel not great, out of our control. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, because welcome to my home. And yet, saying I am making changes brings that power right to you. My friends, when I offer you a thought, it's always going to be up to you to do like a little gut check. How does this thought feel? That's how we decide whether or not a thought is helpful or not. Does it feel good? It's a good thought. It's a helpful thought. Does it feel scary, weird, bad, ugly, something else? Then my friends, that is not a helpful thought. Hey, but you know what is really helpful? Today's workout. We're going to go back and forth between walking and other low impact cardio exercises. You can either have weights or not. I have my absolute lightest dumbbells, and sometimes they feel heavy. So help yourself to whatever feels like it's going to work best for you. We are going to get started with some walking. And I don't think I told you, but I have a handy dandy gym boss here set for intervals of 30 seconds. So this first 30 seconds, we're walking. When it beeps, we're going to do something I call can-cans, which is a knee and a kick on one side and a knee and a kick on the other. Then we're going to come back to walking. So the great thing about this workout is that when in doubt, walk it out. If there is an exercise that I do that you don't love, can't do, can't get the hang of, doesn't feel good today, doesn't feel right today, here we go with can-cans, knee and a kick and a knee and a kick. And you can use your hands as much or as little as you like. Kind of depends on how heavy your dumbbells are. Kind of depends on what feels right to you. Since we've just gotten started, maybe you want to take this a little bit easier. My friends, I always want you to modify the workout, moderate the workout, do what feels best for you. When it beeps, we're coming back to walking, and then we are going to do these can-cans one more time. So this is what we're doing. Back to walking right now. I noticed that my heart rate came up pretty fast on this workout, as it always does. Walking with weights is one of those moderate workouts that sometimes takes us right to the edge of moderate. This is going to be your job to really pay attention. Sometimes something that feels moderate in the moment doesn't feel moderate later. So thinking about what it feels like right now is part of the equation. Thinking about what it's going to feel like later. Here we go with can-cans again, second and final time. It's a pretty repetitive repeating, no repeat, because we do come back to walking every single time in between, but we're only doing the low impact cardio exercises 2 times. So if there's one particularly that you don't care for, can't do, don't like, help yourself to anything else in the world. My friends, There is nothing about any one exercise that makes it so perfect, so good for you. Here we come back to walking. And that was the last of the can-cans. When you find exercises that feel best to you, you are absolutely welcome to repeat them whenever you want to. Let's say, for example, that the next thing that we're doing, which is booty kick or elbow swings, let's say that you don't like those, or they just never feel quite right, or you can't get the hang of them. You can do can-cans again. You can do anything. I mean, I'm thinking of things that I don't want to confuse myself for all the other things we're doing. Or you can keep walking. Here we go with booty kick or elbow swings. You can always choose any exercise that feels right to you in the moment for your best workout. And by best, what I mean is the one that gets you where you want to go. Not necessarily the one that hurts, not necessarily the one that pushes you, not necessarily the one that burns or feels like you really gave it all you had today. That's, my friend, not necessarily, here we come back to walking, not necessarily your best workout. Your best means that you are getting the results that you want. Have you ever thought about it like that? This is the conversation that I have with people sometimes who want to push themselves. Excuse me, oh my gosh, I have a hair in my face that is driving me nuts, and hopefully it'll just fall out on its own like most of them do. But I was having a conversation with somebody who was talking about how, here we go with booty kick or elbow swing, second and final time, how she really wanted to do her best in a workout, and that to her, the best meant that she was pushing herself right to the edge, getting everything that she could out of the workout itself. My friends, the workout isn't your ultimate goal. The workout is the tool to get you to your goal. Your goal weight, your goal fitness, your goal whatever your goal is. Here we come back to walking. That was the end of the booty kick or elbow swings. The next time it beeps, we're doing triceps curl downs. It's where we're literally going to take our weights here at chest level. We're going to curl your hand down until you push your palm facing out, away from your body, tapping that same foot out at the same time. So we're going back and forth, tapping and curling down. I love this one. It takes so much more explanation to tell you about it than to actually do it, because I love how easy this one feels for me to do. And yet every time I explain it, it feels like, I don't know, what are we doing with our arms? We're twisting them out and to the side while tapping. When it beeps again, of course, we're coming back to walking. But my friends, have you ever thought about that? About how your workout is simply a tool? It's simply one of, for example, if you are losing weight, it is one of the 5 things that we do every day, but it's not the thing that you are necessarily, you come back to walking, that you are necessarily like doing with your life. Now, there are exceptions to this, absolutely. If your workout today, for example, is that you are, running a 5K race, or that you are competing in some kind of workout competition, then yes, that would be the goal. That would be the goal, to do your best at that workout in some sort of competitive field. However, for most of us, I'm unaware, we go with triceps curl downs, I'm unaware of any competitive Paula B workout fields. I don't think there are people who get together to be the best at my workouts. I'm not saying that's not a good idea. I'm just saying that I don't think it happens, especially when I spend most of the workout telling you to moderate, modify, make it work for you. That would be really hard to judge, because the person who's doing the best, here we come back to walking, the person who's doing their best, we don't necessarily know who's done their best until we get results down the line. Because that's where your workout shows up. My friend, your workout doesn't show up today unless you're in pain, in which case it showed up right away. But your workout shows up over time as you are making changes in your life. When it beeps again, you guys, we're doing wide open side kicks. Gonna get those elbows up to shoulder height. Weights are gonna start here at your chest. We're gonna open up both hands while we kick out to the side. You notice how much I slowed down? Oh yes, this one is an effort. This is where I really feel that we have weights in our hand. It's still technically speaking a cardio exercise, and my heart rate not coming down because of these weights in my hands, because that's what heart rates do, you guys. When we keep moving over time, your heart rate keeps coming up. Even a little bit, it'll keep coming up as you keep having an effort. Here we come back to walking. But really specifically, if we have, for example, like weights in our hands, your heart rate climbs a little bit faster than it would if you didn't. That little bit more of work makes a little bit of difference. That's why these walking with weights workouts might take you past your moderate. It's always important to pay attention to what feels moderate for you right now and what's still gonna feel like yesterday's moderate. Here we go with those wide open side kicks. Meaning, tomorrow, are you gonna wake up sore? Tomorrow, are you gonna wake up with some inflammation? Tomorrow, are you gonna wake up feeling like, oh my gosh, I really need a rest day? If you know that walking with weights kinds of workouts make you feel that way, drop your weights, my friends. Take it down to a moderate that you could do every single day. Either this exact workout or something very, very similar to it. That's how you know what moderate actually is. In the moment, here we come back to walking. In the moment, for me personally, moderate usually feels like I didn't do very much. Moderate kind of feels like, well, I could totally do more. Except that moderate, after 3 or 4 or 5 days of I could totally do more, doesn't feel moderate anymore. You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing cheerleader kicks. So we're gonna be kicking forward. As we're doing that, we're gonna have our hands starting at our shoulders with your elbows kind of wide. Hands are gonna go up and down over your head. This might be the one where we drop our weights. Having your hands going up overhead, hands up, mean the heart rate comes up. So figure out for yourself, does this feel good? Does this feel doable? Does this feel like it might feel like too much tomorrow or the next day or the day after that? Not that you're gonna do this exact workout. I've got another great workout for us tomorrow. But this is what I'm saying about moderate right this minute doesn't necessarily translate to moderate every day. That's what we're aiming for, coming back to walking, is some level of effort that you could literally do every single day. When you think about it like that, when you think about that big picture, that brings your effort way, way down, doesn't it? like I even stepped back. I like whoa. Let me take this down a notch, or 2, or 3, or 5. You guys, that's what moderate feels like. Here we go with those cheerleader kicks. Second and final time. And the thing about this, I know for those of you who, like me, love to work out, love to push yourself, love to feel like you gave your best, like you gave the most effort, for example, that can feel a little bit, I'm going to say disappointing. There's a couple of other words I might be able to use there. Frustrating, sad. I mean, that to me, here we come back to walking, was one of the changes that kind of happened to me with menopause, with perimenopause for me. That all of a sudden my body didn't want to do what I still wanted mentally for it to be able to do. You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing low swinging tappers. Hands are going to swing from side to side. And I call them low swinging, not because they're not going to go kind of high, because they are, but just because they're not going up over your head. As we're swinging from side to side, we're just going to be tapping our feet from side to side too. Doing some Robert Palmer's here. Tapping from side to side, pretending like we're singing Addicted to Love. This doesn't really look like a guitar though, so it's not quite the same motion. If you've ever seen that video from the 80s with those girls with the slick back hair and the bright red lipstick, you totally know what this foot thing is. And if you haven't, I highly encourage you to go look it up on YouTube because it's hilarious and such a product of its time. Oh my gosh, here we come back to walking. You guys, the 80s were a really long time ago and we have really changed as a society, and thank goodness for it. Anyways, not what I was talking about. I was talking about changes that seem to be happening to me, which is why that sentence, I am changing, might not feel very good, might not be a helpful thought to you, but I am making changes can bring that power. Here we go. With the low swinging tappers, really had to think about that before my brain and my body wanted to do this movement. This is a particularly tough transition for me from walking to side. It's why we do so much of this, because it's really good practice for your brain-body connection to do things that feel a little bit awkward and a little bit like, wait, what am I doing? But you guys, when you take the power of I am making changes, I want you to understand, here we come back to walking, exactly what that means. It means that you have the speed control in your hands. You have the control of how much, how little, how often, how you are making changes, like big picture. What changes you are making, when you are making them, how much you want to change. When it beeps again, we're doing chicken wing high knees, which I know is gonna feel super awkward. Gonna have the weights like right underneath our chin, basically. Your elbows are doing chicken wings. And one high knee is coming up at a time. This one feels so ridiculous, and I absolutely love it. But my friends, here's what I mean by this. When I'm telling you, hey, there's 5 things that we do every single day, and this is how we lose weight, and blah, blah, blah. If that sounds completely overwhelming to you, take this for what it is. I am making changes. What change could you make right now that would put you in the right direction that feels doable and powerful for you? Maybe that's not doing all 5 things. Maybe that's doing like one thing. Maybe that's like doing 5 minutes of this workout. Maybe that's doing this workout and then taking a couple of days off to reassess. Was that moderate? Was that not moderate? To figure yourself out. I am making changes means that you, and here we go with those chicken wing high knees again, means that you are making the changes that feel right to you. It means that you are in control. You have the power. You are the one who gets to make the decisions about what to change, when to change, how to change it, how much of it to change. And maybe that means that you're going to modify and moderate the 5-0 method. Maybe that means that you're going to make it work for you. Here we come back to walking in whatever way feels best to you. You guys, this helpful thought, if it actually feels helpful for you, can be really helpful. When you take your power, oh my gosh, you have all the power. like there it is. All you got to do is claim it, and it's yours. How wonderful is that? You guys, when it beeps again, we're doing diving airplanes. Gonna have our hands out wide at shoulder width. This is gonna bring your heart rate up. We're gonna tip from side to side. Doing basically a booty kicker behind you and leaning that hand towards that back kicking foot. Now, do you have to get all the way down? Absolutely not. You can see that I'm not. We're just diving, making some airplane noise. Because really, when in doubt, make some silly noises, right? I know there are other fitness trainers that do not make silly noises, and frankly, I don't get it. I don't. I'm sure, obviously, their workouts are all really good. It's just for me personally, part of me making changes in my life means that it has to be fun. If I'm gonna make changes and they're gonna be like boring or annoying or too hard or really serious, I'm not going to stick with it. I am a serious person sometimes. Sometimes I'm very serious. Sometimes I take myself, here we go with diving airplanes. Sometimes I take myself far too seriously. And most of the time, I prefer to not take myself seriously at all. Those are the kinds of changes that I can stick with. The ones that feel fun, that feel interesting, that feel doable, that feel like I made it my own by doing exercises that have silly noises. When it beeps again, you guys, of course we're coming back to walking because here we are. I've got one final exercise in our walking with weights workout. Check this out. So coming up next, we're gonna do shooting stars. One of my absolute favorites because I made it up. because I make up almost all of them. We're gonna have one hand pointing kind of up and kind of out to one side, while your opposite foot is kicking kind of up and kind of out to the other side. It is a little bit of balance exercise, a little bit of balance practice is actually what I meant to say there. So we're shooting off to the side, off to the other side. I've even got my disco fingers because this is basically a combination of exercises in my mind. It's disco dancers and some kind of star balance. And also, oh yes, having that balance work plus a little bit of overhead work definitely brought my heart rate up. This is why, whoo, doggies, it's one of our last exercises. And I know, I just said it's our last exercise. Technically speaking, yes it is. We're gonna do it one more time, but then we're gonna walk one more time, and I'm not even gonna try and surprise you with it. We will be done, but we won't quite be finished. I always like to finish us off every single day with a little bit of something that is meant to be harder, but not like in a mean way, but meant to be harder because it's good for you. So you guys, when it beeps again, we're doing the shooting stars again, because that's what we do. But also, after that, we're actually gonna drop our weight. So here we go with the shooting stars. Whew, doggies. When it beeps again, we are technically speaking done with the workout, but we still got one more thing before we are finished. I'm gonna drop my weights because that's what I do when we do balance work. Now, in all likelihood, someday when you need your balance, you might very well have something in your hands. However, for our practicing purposes, I want you to have hands free if you'd like to. So we're gonna walk for this 30 seconds, kind of bring your heart rate down a little bit, and then when it beeps again, we're doing something I call super slow sprinters. We're practicing balancing on one foot at a time while the rest of your body is kind of moving and doing its thing. I'm gonna start with my left foot on the ground. Gonna bring my left elbow to my right knee, crunching in the middle. And then we're gonna extend all the way out. I like to call I call them sprinters because it makes me think of somebody who's like crouched and ready to sprint and then exploding out. So crouch it together and then not really explode it out. This is actually very, very, very slow moving. If you would like to grab onto something, if you need to tap your foot down, if you'd like to be near a wall, a chair, a table, something that can help you with this balance, please, my friends, do so, depending on where you are with your balance practice. What you see here is me having been practicing my balance for about 10 years. That means, here we go on the other side, that I am not great at it, but I'm better than I used to be 10 years ago because I've been practicing in small doses, making changes that benefit me, even as my body is making its own changes that aren't always entirely in my control. My friends, when it beeps again, it's the last time that it's going to beep during this workout. You know, you're gonna hear that again. I've been doing these workouts, and that was it. We're better than done. We're finished. I've been doing these workouts on YouTube for over 8 years now, and I have had not just this gym boss. I think this is my third gym boss. The first one I had already owned for years before I started filming, and then I tragically stepped on it. And then the second one lasted forever until I got this one, I think, a couple of years ago, and I don't remember how long it's been. They're very good products. I happen to love them. They have a free app, definitely on iPhone. I don't know if they have it for Android. Gym Boss is awesome, and I'm not even an affiliate, just happen to love them. You guys, what a great workout that was. Do you feel amazing now? Do you feel empowered to make changes in your life and allow your body to be changing because you still have the power to do what feels best for you? Let's go ahead and open it up. And let's close it up and give yourself a hug and a pat on your sweaty back because you did such a good job today. I am so, so proud of you. Every day that you come here, you push play, you do the workout, you get a little bit sweaty, you get a little bit of new information or old information, or just hang out with me, no matter what it is. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for it. Tomorrow is day 5 of our 5-day December series. I'm already looking forward to it and the rest of the month. My friends, make sure that you subscribe before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.